hustle plays one up. 5 to the nation, party non-stop like we always on vacation. Cause we get high, get high, get high. Put your hands in the sky. We break it down
it's definitely,
to a whole lot of level.
You know, it's had its ups and downs, but it's been a lot more financially better than the radio gig.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Now, were you working like full-time radio, or were you part-time? Like, what are, I know like DJ hours are like 4 hours at blocks, right? Usually.
Yeah, but I did a lot of more behind-the-scenes stuff too.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Are you working like a full 8-hour day?
I mean, like some of the morning show guys and stuff, they'll do their 4 in the door. But I was always, you know, I did like kind of. I would schedule music and schedule talent and stuff for the weekends and whatnot. So yeah, I definitely parlayed mine into a full-time job. Plus, I wasn't one of those guys that made like $100,000 just to do my 4 in the door.
So now, were you scheduling other people's shows? Is that what you were doing, or
just like, you know, like weekend guys and stuff. Yeah, pretty much like their shows.
Right.
But yeah, you know, I would schedule the music and just different things depending on. I did a lot of stuff. I think at one time I thought I was like an assistant program director because my program director just like had me doing all the jobs for him. But he gave me the classic office line. You're the assistant to the program director.
Oh, nice.
I was like, that's bull.
So you had to change your business cards too, or
no? I wasn't even good enough to get business cards at that time.
Right. Do you have business cards now?
I do.
Oh yeah.
But for the Pot County, yeah.
For Pot County.
Yeah.
That's cool. So what brands are you guys all running now?
So we got the Pot County Cannabis, which is our flower, our distillates. You know, we do syringes and carts and vape pens. RSO, we do RSO. That's under that. And then we have the Dabstronauts, which is our enhanced pre-rolls, which is kind of cool because you've seen the infused pre-rolls out there. Ours is enhanced with live hash rosin, so I think that's what, you know, kind of is the difference with ours.
Cannabinoids, a little bit more terpenes.
Yeah, exactly. So you get that, and then we also do some Dabstronaut concentrates, live hash rosin. So we have a few different kinds of that, and then
I've hit that a couple times.
Yeah,
it's been pretty good.
It's nice. Yeah. And then we do the 420 bomb topicals, so that's like, you know, roll-ons and different stuff that's coconut oil that's infused with THC and CBD, like a 1-to-1. So
that's good. Having a good ratio of CBD with the THC is nice.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Very cool, man. Now, are you doing any more radio gigs you see in the future, or you think podcasting is going to be?
Yeah, well, you know, that's kind of the thing is, because I did radio. I started in radio in 2003, and I did, you know, I've probably done it like 14 years, I think, if I go back and do the math. And but I had started doing podcasts prior to that anyway. And I always liked podcasting better just because I know this sounds like, you know, super cocky or whatever, but I don't really like having to run my ideas through somebody who's not going to get it anyway.
Right.
And then, you know, because it's all... you know, a lot of the radio now, they want you to be like a liner jock, which means, you know, you're just like, hey, we're at 7-Eleven, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Here's the next few bands, and then you're out, you know, in and out.
Yeah,
you know.
There's no real discussion going on.
Right. And, you know, like it took me a while to really learn how to do like the talk format, you know, going from radio and stuff like that. But I just really love podcasting because I'm free to do whatever, you know, whenever.
Yeah.
And so I really enjoy that. I would love to get back into radio, like as, you know, a side thing. But it's definitely one of those things where it's got to meet like certain expectations of mine at this point, because I'm not missing radio as much right now, which, you know, I really did at first when I wasn't doing radio.
It's kind of like watching cable TV. You don't realize how many ads are on there when you've been away for so long. Like, that's most of your job is playing ads now, right? Like,
yeah. Oh yeah. Like, I would say in the typical hour, you're going to get at least a half hour of commercials probably.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, so much is streaming now. I mean, even like free services like like Spotify and shit, they'll have a couple ads, but you can actually scroll through those pretty quick.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you actually skip through them. So it's amazing how many ads are still pushing radio through. And
yeah. It's when I first got into radio, again, that was 2003. It doesn't seem like that long ago, but
hell, that was almost 20 years now. It's like 18 years, man.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy, and so the business has just changed a lot. It's changed a lot. So it's a lot. It's not as fun as it was, I think, at first. And then some of the fringe benefits in radio too kind of went away because, at one point, all the record people, they'd come in.
Oh yeah.
And they'd want you to play their music.
So they give you free swag.
Oh yeah, all kinds of free stuff. PS4s, like all kinds
Holy
of stuff.
Holy shit! Really?
Yeah, it was great. And awesome. Of course, it made it better for if you're working for like $10 an hour, it's like,
no kidding.
That's okay. I get like all the concert tickets I want, and stuff like that. But it kind of got to where like all the radio stations are owned by these conglomerates. Like Cumulus was the one that owned all the radio stations I worked at first.
Okay.
And then I worked at Tyler Media. But so now they have one guy who decides what gets played, and he's in Atlanta, but he decides like all over the nation.
Wow,
that guy gets all the swag now.
Yeah. So it all goes to one person now. He's in control of it all.
Yeah.
One program director, damn.
Yeah, and it's different everywhere. That might not always be the case everywhere, but it really changed. Kind of like the whole dynamic there.
Well, that's how I got my little swag. Where are we at? There, my little magma toppers. Those came for the volcano vaporizer. Those are actually toppers to put in between the flower and the bag that you actually filter air and water through them.
Yeah.
So you get you a little bit more even smoother hit than the vaporized weed already. So shout out to Magma there for those toppers. But yeah, we got a little bit of swag.
Yeah, that's cool.
For it. So yeah, good thing we don't. Being the program director here, we can. Pick it up ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's pretty sweet. I always. Hope that somebody would start sending me some free stuff to try out.
If you ask for it, it will come.
Yeah.
Be on Instagram, to push those pictures because they like that shit. So,
yeah. See, I'm a bad when podcasting kind of first started, there was a few different things. First of all, everybody would always be like, "What's a podcast?" I'm like, "Oh my god, gotta just explain it to everyone." But
radio on the internet.
Yeah. Like my grandma, my aunts, they didn't know, and so there's a lot more podcasts now, but it's like, people consider themselves influencers now, and I'm like, I kind of feel weird calling myself an influencer.
You're influencing at least one person or so out there. Somebody's getting some kind of tidbit of something out there.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So if they see the magmas, maybe they'll buy them.
Yeah, they should. They should. They definitely should. Yeah. There's nothing like I say. There's nothing wrong with that. I just feel weird calling myself an influencer. Sounds like something the younger kids say.
I definitely find myself as more of a motivator. I was talking to the wife about that today, of how many people have, because we have the cannabis college and other things. I've always been self-employed, and all the people that throughout the time I've been doing this stuff is have told me, you inspired me to start my own business, or you inspired me to get do this or whatever. We started talking about that, and it's kind of interesting because you say influencer, I was thinking motivational speaker, motivator, because I seem to be motivating everybody else but myself lately, and that seems to be the case. But yeah, that was kind of a little tidbit today. But yeah, motivator. Then
I like that. Yeah. I'll call myself a motivator.
Yeah. Now if I just motivate myself to do some shit, it'd be a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Doing
double drink at the same time.
Yeah.
Nice.
I for my the podcast I do, I'm down to just one now. But I do all the editing and basically. So
do you do it live too, or do you edit it?
Most of pardon me.
You're fine.
Most of the
time. Cut those out.
Yeah. Most of the time we do it live on our Facebook page, on the Nerds to Men Facebook page. Sometimes we don't. We do it all by Zoom now. So Cameo, my co-host, we used to do it all in the studio together, kind of like this. But now that the pandemic has happened. we were able to start using Zoom, and it's kind of, I mean, it's made us both very lazy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we can put out more content because it's a lot easier than him having to drive all the way out to where I live.
For sure. I appreciate you making the trip out here. I'm still in that in-person type of mode here. I know you coughing and sniffling here, and you're talking about COVID, but.
Yeah, no, that is solely the volcano here.
We'll see you in a week. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm good. Are you doing the vaccination? Have you? You thought about it?
I've had both of them.
Have you already done it?
Yeah.
Right on. So you're definitely a carrier, just not no.
Right. Yeah, that's what, because everybody's like, oh man, we can do whatever we want now. I'm like,
Yeah.
Well, you can still give it to someone else, I guess.
That is the case. Just, I've always been just cautious and just been using the hand sanitizer, even especially doing edibles and stuff. I always keep my hands, sanitized anyway. So I always have sanitizer in the car. I'm like, if they hand me my credit card, I usually put sanitizer in my hand and then take the card and rub it at the same time and drop it in. I still haven't done the vaccine yet, though. I've been, I don't know.
Are you feeling like?
I don't like going to the doctor at all.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I just try avoiding that in general. So if it becomes more mandatory, I might have to. But
yeah,
I hate going to the doctor.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah,
I don't blame you. It's like I was sold on getting the COVID shot anyway, just because I'm diabetic and stuff like that.
So you're always getting shots.
Well, yeah, but the flu shot, like I don't get it every year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people don't shame you for not getting a flu shot.
Yeah,
so.
no, there's definitely.
I know this is completely different, but
well, no, it's true. I mean, it's not shaming, but it's I got mine.
Yeah, yeah.
Here's the post of my card. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I hope it doesn't, even though I have them, I really hope it doesn't come to like some point where people need like a COVID passport or, it just seems like that's where problems can really come.
Well, we got that federal ID coming. Did you get that?
No, but I just moved and I need to change my license anyway. And I keep hearing that it's like an hour-long process now.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Before, so I luckily got in. So I came from Arizona to Oklahoma to do the Women Walk of Treats with you guys, and they're doing all these wait times with the driver's license, all this bullshit. I went to Clinton DMV at 1 p.m. when they got back from lunch.
Yeah,
and there was a kid there getting his driver's license. He had an appointment for 1 p.m., but he didn't bring his parents with him. So I took his appointment.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I just snuck right in. I walked right in, like, no problem. So I got my driver's license done and just got out of there. So that was like just that window of the universe just giving me the opportunity to make sure everything went smoothly.
Yeah.
So because without that license, I wouldn't be able to do any of the stuff,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I live in a small town. It's not too far outside of the city and stuff, but it's a smaller like 4 by 4 mile town.
Okay.
Nakoma Park, and they have like a little tiny tag agency. And every day I'm like, because it's right by my house, I drive by. Of course, I drive by the whole town because it's like I say, it's small. But I'm like, man, I need to stop there. But it is just always cars, like all in the parking lot. I'm like, oh man, I'm never gonna get my ID.
And there's so many people coming here now because of cannabis and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
It's just getting worse and more, obviously. But yeah, it's getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyways, man, I don't know where I was going. I lost my train of thought. I was looking for something at the same time.
Oh yeah, that always happens to me, like especially like mid-show.
Yeah.
Because I'll be thinking about one thing and then something else will pop in my mind.
And then I lost both.
And I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, and like you have to do it all in your head.
Yeah. It's always thinking of the next thing.
Yeah.
And we have 2 viewers live with us right now.
Oh, very nice.
So we have doubled our view since we started.
That's that Brad Reed bump.
Yeah.
No.
So, welcome to our live podcast here. We do take questions if there's any for us about Oklahoma cannabis or podcasting. We have some knowledge on that and other things as well.
Yeah.
But, if you want to chat with us, hit us up live right here, right now.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, we're just talking COVID and radio talk and getting sponsors for being a mentor.
Yeah, there you go. I like that, a mentor. It sounds a lot more, like wiser and.
That's not the word I used earlier. I forgot the word I used earlier.
Oh yeah, what did you? I can't remember now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a mentor.
No, it wasn't, but that's the word that just popped in my head. But it's like, I don't know. That's crazy. I lost the word.
Yeah, because we were talking about influencers.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was now.
Yeah, but mentor is a better word now. Whatever the hell
I do
was.
like it. I like mentor. Yeah.
So that's how it works. Just keep on pushing words out until it happens.
Right. That's what I'll go by though from now on. I'll be like,
I'm a mentor.
I'm a mentor.
Yeah. Sponsor this mentorship.
Yeah. That is for sure. We need all the sponsors on all the shows.
Yeah, and more viewers. People, tell your friends, share this podcast. Let them know that we are live with Brad here in the Toking Today studios here at Edmond, Oklahoma. I got my little welcome weed wreath that my mother-in-law made for me here.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
And my kids bought me that for Christmas.
Oh, I love that. Have you seen my?
Oh, check it out.
Yeah, so
I have the shiny here, but I also got.
That's sweet.
I got my own little Jack.
That's dope. Yeah. See, I had to mix the Joker.
I like
the Jack Nicholson Joker and the Shining
coming out of the wall.
Yeah,
that's badass.
Yeah. So, but yeah, those are dope.
You got the Gremlins there too.
Yeah. Somebody the other day, I was at the store and they're like, "Do you like the Gremlins?" I was like, "Yeah."
So, are you a movie buff, man?
Yeah. I mean, I like a lot of horror movie, a lot of different kinds of movies actually. But I like, problem with me is that I think I've seen most everything, and so like I'm all the time bored. Like,
do you like new stuff?
New stuff?
Like, yeah, well, you catch, like, we see a horror movie on Netflix, go, oh, I'll watch that.
That's the thing with me, though. Yeah, no.
I don't either. Yeah,
I love horror.
Yeah, but I don't like any of the new stuff.
Yeah, there's very rare that I come across the one that I'm like, man, I really want to see that. There's a few years, I mean, this has probably been like maybe 5 years ago, one called Oculus came out, and I really loved that one. But lately, They just don't come out. I know there's like a lot of movies, but like the really good ones, they don't come out that often.
That's been the thing, especially like with Netflix. They flood it when you start watching a certain thing. They flood you with all the bullshit.
Yeah,
and it'll be like a horror film that's not even in English or something. Yeah. Same with comedy. They do the same thing. You watch a couple stand-up specials, then all of a sudden you got British comedy coming over. You got like comedy coming. Like,
and if you get further enough in it, it's like all Indian.
Yeah,
like at the end.
Yeah, it goes. Yeah, total. Yeah.
Yeah, which is weird. I guess they got a lot of Netflix users in India or something.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely try to change my own algorithms. I'll search out like just Adam Sandler movies for like a week just to fucking.
Oh yeah.
Fix it.
Yeah. Mine's a mix of kid shows because my nephews use my Netflix account.
See, you gotta give them their own separate. So we have the adults and we have the kids.
Right.
Give them their own little tab.
Yeah.
And then that way they can stay off your shit.
Yeah.
Stop fucking up because you don't want all that wiggles and stuff coming in your stream all the time or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's how I love. Like I said, I love horror movies, but it's the older ones to me are the better ones.
Yeah.
There's some newer ones that are okay, but.
Yeah, I think CGI took a lot away from a lot of the I follow a lot of like mask makers and prop guys on Facebook, and I love it when they're actually making the actual pieces.
Yeah.
It's not just somebody sitting behind a computer and putting it in, which is talent and work and time. But when you actually put the hairs into that werewolf, or there's something different. There's a little bit more realism, a little bit more fear into the actors too. You get a better reaction, I think, from them.
Well, it's because your eye, your eye knows whether it's seeing something fake or not.
Yeah, a little green guy in a tight suit just doesn't do the same as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre coming through the fucking wall.
Yeah. I agree. And then if it's CGI too much, it just doesn't have the same kind of oomph to it. Even like the Ninja Turtles movie, the first one, they're in now they look awful as far as.
I learned to spin my nunchucks because of watching that movie, because they did the up close of him doing it through his fingers.
Yeah,
so I worked on that until I could spin my nunchucks from hip to hip. Just because of that Ninja Turtles movie.
But I still prefer that look to the newer CGI.
I haven't
ones.
watched the new ones.
They're okay. They're all right. They're not bad.
So how old are your kids?
Oh man, the youngest one is 19.
Okay.
Yeah, he just joined the Navy, and then.
So you got nephews watching your shit.
Yeah. My nephews.
You got old kids, man.
Yeah, I do.
How long you been married?
We've been married about 13, 14 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and the children are from her first marriage, but The one that just
so you
joined
stepped into some older kids.
Yeah, well, the one that just joined the Navy, he was 5 at the time.
Wow.
But the oldest one was 15. So,
oh wow.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, there's 4 of them, and so yeah, it's been fun.
You stepped into you decided to marry a woman with 4 kids.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was 13 years ago, so obviously it was working out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what's that decision like, man? To be a stepdad to 4 kids.
You know, it's got its ups and downs for sure. Like, you know, just kind of, you know, I love them and they love me, but yeah, I think that sometimes I think anyway that if I was their real father, certain things would just be different, you know?
Sure.
But
a little bit more respect, you think? Or do you think?
Maybe,
Yeah.
but
you never get that, you're not my real dad?
I never got it said out loud, but, you know, I could
tell.
see it in their eyes, their beady little eyes, like, you know. No, but you know, I really have enjoyed it. Plus, I never wanted to, like, I never wanted, like, tiny babies.
Okay.
So, like, I kind of lucked into it because I got 4
Yeah, no
kids
diaper
past that.
change,
Yeah,
nothing
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was raised by a stepfather. You know,
Mm-hmm.
my parents split when I was really young, and you know, my stepdad came in when I was like 6. So I mean, I definitely have respect for you know,
Mm-hmm.
that role and what you do, and I know how hard it is, and especially come from the kid's point of view. You know, I was called my real dad. You know, and stuff. You know, so my real dad didn't really care or take my calls really, but
Yeah.
there was always that in my head that I could go live somewhere else if this was
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
whatever. And so, you know, it's real cool to see somebody, you know, step up and, you know, take that role and be that person, you know.
Yeah, you know, with my growing up, I had a stepdad. We weren't close. So, but like, you know, for a while I knew what it was like. My mom had 3 of us, you know, and was single and all that. And then my grandpa, he kind of did the same thing. He was my step grandpa, but I never knew the difference.
Oh, wow, yeah.
But he married my grandma and she had 3 kids. So
you're from a long generation of first mistakes.
yeah. And so, you know, I always wanted to be just like him. So, like, I was like, oh, I can do this, you know. And I was younger and more stupid then, but I managed through it. So it's worked.
Oh, man.
It's worked pretty good.
Well,
and
cool.
I'm pretty, you know, we're close. I'm close.
So
to
is she
all of
older
them.
than you?
Yeah, she's actually 10 years older than
Oh,
me.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's now you 13 years. That's age gap starting to catch up with you a little bit now?
I mean, it's not too bad. It's not really. No.
No,
Yeah.
Are you starting wanting to go, out later? She's wanting to go to dinner at 4:30.
No, actually, she's probably the one that goes out and does things like
Okay.
that, and I'm more of the homebody. So,
Okay.
and you know, like, when I was in high school, all my friends were in college and stuff. Like, it's not like I was like super cool and mature and stuff, but I just always hung out with people who were a little older anyway.
I was the same way. No, my wife is. She's a year older than me, so it's not big of a deal. But all my friends were always older than me. Like even like when I was in Los Angeles, I was always hanging out with I'd go to the older bar crowds and hang out with hear the old stories from the old the old guys.
Yeah.
Not the new guys trying to come up, which is probably why I didn't make it very far. Everybody I was listening to was already out of the game, but that's who I got my advice from, was people who were already had that experience and did those things.
Sometimes those people will give you the worst advice though, because they're
Well, you see where it took me.
yeah, they're protecting their little area. Like in radio, if you talk to anybody who's been in the business a long time, they'll be like, no, don't get into this business. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, because it's the same with the comedians, I'm sure, and everything else.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of Kill Tony lately, and it's kind of cool to see new guys going for the first time, and then these old veterans come in and talk to them and talk to them about it. But you see like guys like Ron White come in, and he's still a little bit more protective of of their stuff.
Oh yeah.
Whereas some of the guys who are newer at it, they're a little bit more freer with the information. And it's kind of interesting to see. I think I've always wanted to be a stand-up comic, but I just the struggle to get there. It's not worth my time.
That's one of the things on my list that I always wanted to do but haven't.
Yeah.
Which I don't want to say I'm funny. Like I'm usually would rather leave that up for somebody else. But people have told me, and people that I know that are stand-ups, they're like, "You're funny, you should do it." And I'm like, man, that's a whole different thing, though. That's a
life dedication.
Yeah, like I feel like if I'm talking to somebody, I can be funny, kind of based off of that and stuff. But like to write it out and make sure it's relatable, and then
punch it up every week, and that you're And some of these guys are doing 13, 14 times a week. You know, two shows a night, nightly, or even more sometimes.
Yeah.
And I mean, just that kind of dedication to being in the club all the time is so much. You know? Yeah.
And now that I'm like 42, I feel like I have the confidence now that maybe I could go up there, and even if I bomb, I won't really give a shit. But I'm like, man, I'm too old for that now. Like, you gotta, like, to be mastering stuff, you know, you need at least 20 years doing it. So.
And even the good guys still bomb. That's
yeah, of course, yeah.
And every time you go on stage, you're being judged for that moment. Mm-hmm. So every time you go up, it's a new time.
Yeah.
It's a fresh time. So the only thing that's different is you have more experience from the last time.
Right.
But you have to have new material. They don't give a shit about what you said last week.
Yeah.
You know, they want something new. I mean, it's always constantly writing. And that was kind of like why I always kind of stuck to scripts and screenplays, because you watch a movie over and over.
Yeah.
You know, it's timeless.
Right.
So I wanted to have that kind of influence on, you know, hey, let's just put this movie back in, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas you watch a stand-up special, it's over, you know.
Yeah, yeah. It looks really fun, but like I say, those guys, they got balls of steel, I feel like, to get up there and do that.
Keep on doing it over and over again. I love it. I watch it. I'm definitely a student of it. I would love to give it a shot, but to make a career out of it would be so just disheartening, I think.
Yeah, probably so. I always wanted to be on Saturday Night Live, so that was kind of like why I wanted to do it and stuff.
When I was a kid, I used to impersonate like the church lady and like Wayne's World. And, it was my kind of
yeah. I'm one of those people that I'm rare right now because I still watch it.
Yeah.
And I still like it. And I don't always like it, but I do like it overall.
I occasionally watch it, and I occasionally, and when I do, I still like it.
Yeah.
But I can't watch it every week.
Right.
I can't do like what I used to do and be like, okay, it's 11:59. It's got to start, you know. Or actually, here in Oklahoma, it come out at 1:00.
Yeah.
And that was even.
I always Hulu it, so the next day it's like my Sunday. You know, I just.
Well, I
watch the SNL.
Back then in the day, you have to wait for.
For sure.
Change.
Yeah.
And then there'd be a radio show coming after. It was kind of like a podcast. It's Tom Snyder, I think. It'd be here in Oklahoma.
Oh yeah,
and it would come on after, and I remember that, and it would be a rerun though.
Yeah,
because I would call into the show and like try to talk to him, and it's like, dude, you're watching a rerun. It's not happening now.
Nice, that's funny.
Just
yeah. So are you? Because you said you've spent time in Arizona. Are you from Oklahoma?
So I was born in Chicago, and then my family moved to Louisiana, where I spent a little bit of time. Then I ended up here in Enid, Oklahoma when I was like 4.
Oh, okay.
So then I kind of grew up and went spot to spot. My stepfather was in the oil field, so I kind of traveled all around from Oklahoma, Arkansas, all over that area. But I went to school in Weatherford, and I graduated in Edmond, and then had my first business. I had a furniture store here in Edmond called Bronco Furniture.
Mm-hmm.
That was a little furniture store, but it was kind of geared towards like the UCO students there.
Yeah.
And then I started a mortgage company here, A&C Mortgage Group, and then that kind of grew up. That was kind of like my good business, and as the real estate bubble kind of started happening, I saw that coming, and we had to change careers. So I ended up in Arizona on the retail side of I was selling loans to mortgage brokers, like what I did before. So I was on the wholesale side of that. So I was driving around to different brokers and trying to sell products, loans, buying their paper basically from them. And that whole time I was screenwriting and learning how to screenwrite and learning just getting in different groups and doing that kind of stuff. And in 2004, I ended up writing a screenplay called Mitch and Stu's Quest. And it might have been even later than that. But this Bitches 2's quest was about two stoners who lose a stash and have to replace it or get a bullet in the head. And I sent it off to, so I just marketed myself on MySpace. I would go to people who I like Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes.
Yeah.
And I would I would go to all of their friends list and be like, hey, you're friends with Kevin. He's a good inspiration. I just would like to be friends with you. So I ended up with like 10,000 friends. Just because it spiraled out like that. I kept on telling my story over and over of the scripts and whatnot, and I'd like to get to them. And eventually, I hit somebody who got the script to him. Jason saw it and wanted to be in it, and wanted to be a producer. I had another producer here in Arizona who was going to put $50,000 into it if I get him anyway. So that was kind of my goal.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. So I went out there and ended up with another film company called Skipstone Productions, who ended up putting me under a contract to lock it down and trying to get Jason Mewes himself and do this other stuff. So they locked my script down for like 6 months because I thought he could, because he was actually a production assistant on Clerks 2.
Yeah.
So he says he knew Jason, he knew all the stuff. So I was like, well, I've been trying to get to him. If you can do it, let's do it. And so he ends up optioning the script, thinking that he's going to get Mewes and do this all thing himself. Well, it turns out he was full of shit. And so he has my script locked down for 6 months. And so I need to do something. So I write like 2 or 3 more screenplays in that 6 months. And I go to production company and just start hustling and telling everybody, hey, I got the script, blah, 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 and start talking about it. I wrote movies like, one of them was the Volume 1 Story of a Gun. And basically it's like a Kill Bill-ish meets God dang it, I see Frank Black fucking
You said Frank Black?
comic book movie.
Wait, I don't know.
Maybe I'm getting the names all fucked up. Anyways,
Were you thinking Jack Black or Frank?
no.
Because when you say Frank Black, I think of the Pixies, but
No, I might have the name all fucked up. God damn it! So I
Yeah.
wasn't in the mood to pitch a script. But anyways, the story of a gun is basically it follows the story of this 50 caliber Desert Eagle gun through these 5 chapters, and it's told from the gun's point of view, basically. And it's a badass, just like I say hardcore because it's blood shooting everywhere.
Yeah.
Fuck you type of movie, and it ended up getting into a lot of people's hands, and one of them was Michael Stone, who was older brother to Sharon Stone, and Sharon, actually, I wrote this part for her in the movie. Well, the story there. So I'm at the backstage one night, and it's this bar that's owned by the drummer of the Police, and it's a bunch of old rock stars who come through there, a bunch of old movie people come through there, and there's this guy up on stage doing spoken word, and his voice is so just awesome. He has this cool chiseled look to him, and I was like, man, that guy would be so cool for the script I just wrote, and I wanted to hand him my script and just get him to read it. He introduces himself as Michael. He might have said Michael Stone, but I just remember him saying Michael. Shook hands, we hung out, bought him a drink, started talking. I was like, man, you have this look and this voice. I would just love for you to be in the script. So I handed him a script, and he takes it home, and like the next week I come out there, and so it's like every Tuesday that they're doing this thing. So I go out there on another Tuesday, and I was actually invited by Brace Harris, who might be there. Not Shane Black, no baby. Fuck. We watch this movie all the time. God damn it. Anyways, so I go out the next week, and he read the script, and he's like, it's awesome. I love it. I love everything about it. Whatever it was about it that it connected to him. And he's like, well, who do you have in mind for these parts? So I'm like, well, I would like Bruce Willis to be this part. I like Sharon Stone to be this part. And he just throws the script back at me, hits me in the chest, and he's like, fuck you, just get the hell out of here. I'm like, you just said you like what I do.
Yeah.
And he goes, you want fucking Bruce Willis and Sharon Stone? You know, I've worked with Bruce on several things, and Sharon's my sister. I had no fucking clue, man. I saw your look. I heard your voice.
Right.
I had no clue. I wanted you.
Yeah.
And he goes, really? And we just started talking. We became like this. He took me in as a mentor, and we would sit on one of Sharon's. So she had 2 houses in Beverly Hills. One she lived at. Well, actually 3 houses. There's 2 properties that she joined together, and then one this far off property. And Michael was staying at this far off property. He was kind of be the caretaker of this property, and I would go up there every day, and we would just sit by the pool and under this $1 billion. I mean, not billion, but it's a $13 million home in Beverly Hills in 2006. And we're just sitting there talking, and he's telling me the stories from this past of how he used to smuggle marijuana and hash from overseas, and just all this other stuff, and all these things, and how he spent time in jail for smuggling cocaine. And he opened up to me all this stuff. I'd love to have him out here. But he just told me all these fucking stories and everything, and it was so much like what happens in the movies and in the script and what we're working on and all this stuff. I ended up being really close to him. I ended up being his driver for everything. I drove him around everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Which is that's another story about my car. We'll do that another time later. But yeah, so I ended up taking him everywhere, and we ended up being real close, and ended up having Thanksgiving dinner with Sharon. And
nice.
Just all sorts of stuff. But during that time, I ended up going like homeless. Before that I was living in a closet, but I was trying to get my scripts produced, and like we were talking about the older guys, telling the stories and whatnot. But so it never happened. I'm sitting there doing all this stuff and listening to these stories, and I think because these things are happening that I wrote was going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm destined for this to happen. And so I get like a real big ego about it, and I tell certain people like Jason Mewes to fuck off at the time.
Oh yeah,
all sorts of stuff. So I ended up being where I was going with that. So back to the guy took my script for 6 months, and I couldn't do anything. So I ended up writing the story of a gun. Ended up meeting Michael Stone. Well, I'm still hustling out there in Hollywood and doing the thing, and I ended up meeting Jason Mewes. He ends up wants to be a part of the script after I get the script back from Skip Stone, and. After I get that back, we end up going to this art gallery, this pop culture gallery it's Quentin Tarantino and Kevin Smith art. Mm-hmm. That's who I'm fucking idolizing right now. That's who I'm writing these scripts about. That's why I'm doing this. So this is all part of my fucking legacy. It says what's going to happen. So he invites me to this thing. It's the first time me, April, and Jason Mewes, we all meet up at Starbucks. He's like, hey, come over to this thing with me. And so we follow him. He's on his motorcycle. We're in our little Nissan, and we follow him over there. And he goes to the middle of the crowd, and I'm like, I can't do that. So I drive over out, I park way far away, and we walk back around. He's like, where'd you guys go? We should just park where I was parking. I was like, yeah, fuck, I didn't know. So there's a long line of people just waiting to see him, just waiting. And so when he pulls up, he's like, snoochie boochies, motherfuckers, and then he pulls through. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Pull a shitty Nissan right behind him and go? No, fuck that. So I drive around. We walk up and we go to the back. We find him, and we start hanging out for that night. Well, the motherfucker who told me who knew him was standing in that fucking line, and he went through the whole thing and got to the VIP and went through the back and finally comes into the back, and it's me, my wife, and Jason Mewes standing back there talking with another filmmaker or whatever, and he walks up to us, and I just got my script back from him, and he's like, "Hey Jay, how's it going, man?" He acts like he's gonna be like. He's a big time here. Yeah. And Jason goes, "Oh, hey, man," and just turns away, like tightens the circle around, like where he's not even a part of it. And that was like the biggest fuck you moment I've ever had. Like that was like, yeah, this is gonna happen, and you're not gonna be a part of it. Right. And but I fucked it up from there. That's long stories, a lot of years. Ended up being in the cannabis business, but didn't make movies.
Yeah.
Yet. Here we are doing this.
Yeah. Have you thought about like making your own?
Yeah. So I have a couple movies out there. So there's a couple on Amazon. The shorts like that we made. One was called Be Still. The girls that made the movie were actually one of my first podcast even. So we brought that back. So that was like 2004, 2005. We made that movie, and then I made one with the kids called. Playmates, where my son ends up killing my daughter in the field with a hammer.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I made another.
Not the favorite of your wife's, or
No, it's a good movie. For what it is.
Yeah.
I made it with the kids in the park, and
Nice.
it was fun. And then I did another one with me and the wife called The Box, and ends up what the story is a mortician falls in love with falls in love with one of the corpses at work, obviously, and ends up having a baby with it. But the box is basically how the incubator of how he makes the baby with the corpse.
Right.
So there's that movie.
So you've written like comedy, action, horror.
Yeah.
Like you want to do it all, huh?
That's my problem. I wrote 16 screenplays, and they're all. So I got like a lesbian threesome movie called Even Emily's October Threesome, where they are two lesbians who've been married for a long time, and they end up going out and getting pregnant with a guy from the club, and what ensues from there. And it's kind of funny. Is I just see these elements, because there's a creative universe, where you're pulling these ideas from, and at the time I was writing these things, there's other movies that snuck these things into them.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see I was really high on nitrous a lot of times too, so I don't know if that was part of it or not, but no, but I just feel that I was on the cusp of there, and I had the opportunity, but I fucked it up.
Yeah.
But
well, I was curious because like even like podcasting and stuff, like some of the equipment you're using, equipment I use, 15 years ago, that wasn't like financially something that we could just build a studio at our house.
Right. So I had to get a real job for that.
Yeah. And so now it's a little easier. I mean, it's still not cheap, but
yeah.
So I was wondering if making a movie is kind of the same way, where it might be easier to do it yourself than ever. You know what I mean?
It is, but that's the thing is, man, So if I'm gonna go be a waiter, I'm gonna be the best waiter I can be. If I'm gonna go do this, whatever it is, I'm gonna try to do the best. And with what is available for me and what's available with everybody else and what they're putting out and what I could put out, it's just I can't.
I get what you mean. Like I see some of the movies that are lower budget or whatever, and it's got that look to it, you know.
But some of them are really good.
Yeah.
And they're fucking crushing it. And I feel like my caliber just, I'm not there. And so I don't want to associate stuff that I cannot be the best at. So I'm trying to be the best with what I have here as much as I can.
Yeah.
But, it's...
On the other hand, though, like Kevin Smith wasn't the best until he probably made a few,
Well, Kevin Smith's still not the best.
Well, that's true.
He doesn't care. He keeps on putting it out. That's the thing.
Yeah. I love Kevin Smith.
He'll go person to person and tell them, this is why you should like my movie.
Yeah.
And this is why you should watch it. Now give me $20 and I'll sign it.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
He'll go and he'll meet every one of those motherfuckers,
Yeah.
And he'll get $25 from each one of them for his movie, even if they watch it or don't watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a big fan. Like, I don't think there's a Kevin Smith movie I've seen I didn't like. Even like people hate, or not. I don't know if they hate, but Tusk.
Yeah, I have not seen it. I know Jason Lee. I mean, he had to have done a great job in that. Just because Jason fucking. I'm so bad with names today.
Yeah, I'm bad with names all the time.
Man,
probably
that's crazy. But not Jason Lee, but yeah.
Well, yeah. There was and then Yoga Hosers was the follow up to that one. I love that one.
Oh, it was
too.
a follow up to it.
Yeah.
Know. Well, I mean, are they connected or no?
They are just small. You'll see if you watch them, you'll see how they are connected. But
is it a different universe?
No, it's the same universe. I guess he wants to make a third movie, and so it'd all be like the Great White North trilogy.
Okay.
And the third one would be called Moose Jaws. But yeah, Tusk and Yoga Hosers both take place in Canada, and they share like a character, but they're not. It's not like a true sequel to it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So, but I dig those. Like I said, I'm a fan of Kevin Smith. Like you said, he doesn't seem to care. Like he just puts out what he wants to put out.
Yeah. And if the studio doesn't buy it, then he'll go fucking.
I'm surprised they don't just give him money to do whatever though.
They did that. That was called Dogma.
I love Dogma.
Yeah. and that's what. Yeah,
I love Dogma, and you can't find it anywhere now.
You can find it on like ABC at 2:00 on a Saturday. Because it literally comes on like those type of things.
So you don't like Dogma?
No, I do.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, so I do have a biased, jaded view of things now. So when I was out there trying to make these things happen, I was a fan, too.
Sure.
And, it was trying to be a friend and a fan at the same time. And I would call him Jason. He's like, call me Jay. And everybody else said, don't call me my fucking character. And he was always this character. And he would go out snoochie boochies and and just like screaming in like Target parking lot.
Yeah.
Just things like that. So it was I went from this fan to this friend to this foe of Jason, and it became I don't know. It's hard for me to see these things because so like one time we're riding around in his car and talking about things, and he pulls over and gets a coffee, but he also buys a knife, and I go, how much was the knife? He goes, $15. And immediately I hear $15, little man. Put that money. Yeah. And I say that. I guess I chuckle. And I say that, and he does it. But then I'm like, at this point, like, are you performing for me? Is this you? Or are we recalling a good memory, or is this
Yeah.
And so I just got in this weird like writer director. It was all mixing.
Right. Yeah. I can see how that would be kind of strange.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
So one thing that happened was he needed a pack of cigarettes, and I went to I brought him a pack of cigarettes on set at Paramount Ranch from my house, which was like 300. It was a long drive.
Yeah.
Nothing compared to like delivering shit in Oklahoma, but it was a long drive.
Right.
And I brought a pack of cigarettes, and he ended up helping me get on set with Big Money Rustlers. They dressed me up in a cowboy outfit and did the whole thing. I got to hang out with them on set and stuff. And it was a cool moment, but I would always feel like I was overstepping my bounds, or something, I just never knew how to separate those things. And I ended up, like I said, I ended up fucking it up. So
yeah. Did you ever want to act, or were you more comfortable like behind the scenes?
In my movies, I do act. In Los Angeles, to make money, to get cash for weed. There's a lot of acting opportunities. So you join Central Casting for $25, and then every day you can get on there and see what kind of opportunities there are. And there's like, I was in Iron Man 2. I was on Lie to Me, just different things. But so I learned real quick, acting is reacting. If you react to a bunch of shit that happens, they'll keep you around, and they'll put you on other stuff. So I just kept on doing those type of gigs, and then like there's be like live shows during the summer. Like you go sit in the audience crowd and get laugh and clap and get like $80.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like what people usually pay for Hollywood tours, those other people in the crowd are getting paid to be there.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's a weird thing, but
yeah.
It's funny because like some of the people who paid to be there will find out that you're getting paid to be there, and they feel like suckers. At some point, there's even shows like Chelsea Handler, her Chelsea Lately show, whatever. She would get a big crowd, but they would have to book so many people just in case the crowd didn't show up.
Oh, okay.
So you'd show up, and they would pay you. Because your day is over. You can go home now. You don't have to be there. So like you would literally be there for 5-10 minutes and get paid for $90 just because you showed up.
Right.
As a possible extra.
So are they like the ringers basically to make sure that somebody in the crowd is laughing and clapping?
Yeah, exactly.
And then everybody else will because
exactly. They have to motivate. So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I was a good motivator, and
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go, motivator. That was the word you were looking for earlier.
Motivator and mentor. Yeah, they both start with an M. That's what the fucking thing was.
Yeah. Now we'll just remember what movie, and we'll be all good.
I know what movie it is, but it's really fucking me up. Because I see it over and over. It's not Shane Black.
one of the comments.
Frank Miller.
Oh yeah, Frank Miller. Okay.
Yeah.
So like Sin City.
There it is. Sin City meets Kill Bill is how I would describe this movie.
Nice.
That's what I was trying to go for. So my son is actually turned into a graphic novel now. He's a comic book artist.
Yeah.
So he's been drawing that movie for me.
Sweet.
So it's still got a little life back into it.
Yeah.
So that's where I was going with that whole thing. But yeah.
There we go. We got it all tapped off. Usually, to me, it's like a few hours after the show, I'll be like, "Oh, that's what I was gonna say."
I'll do my show until I remember.
We'll
We'll keep on fucking talking until it comes up.
Yeah.
But we're already doing it for 51 minutes now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, has the podcast started already?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
So how does this go?
So
You just
clip it down
like that?
and then take that top part off.
Okay.
So go ahead and push the green button and let it go for a couple seconds. And go ahead and now stick the over till it clips down. Yep. You got the new one to go.
There it goes.
And then it'll fill up.
Sweet.
I got this one at 420. This is that Star Dog. It's that freeze dried stuff that I was using for the other things that.
Oh yeah.
And it's not so good to smoke by itself, but vaporizing it works pretty fine. I also have it in these clear pre-rolls too. Pre-rolls are fine, but I think smoking it by the bowl,
Yeah.
it just lacks a little bit. But it's definitely better than trim pre-rolls.
Right.
Yeah.
So one of the things like I usually on our show Nerds the Men, like, you know, it's we talk about movies and
Separate those two.
and we talk about, like, you know, comic books and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
But like so we're more of like a family friendly show, but I talk about, like, you know, things that I do, smoke.
Oh, so
and stuff.
are you afraid of losing your sponsorships now?
No, well, no. Like, we don't really even have any sponsors. We used to, but like I kind of got to where, like, if I don't want to do a show one week, I don't want to feel like I have to just because I have sponsors and stuff. And so I mean, it's nice when you do because it helps pay for everything, but at the same time, I've just been like, I mean, we're just lazy about it. That's the only thing.
I'm the same way, especially doing this. I like to have the in-person conversations. It's really hard for me to deal with lags and delays and, you know, those type of things. I don't want to. I get frustrated.
Yeah.
So I just want to be here and fucking talk. So I'll wait for you to get here, however long that takes.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's a couple days or weeks, whatever. We'll fucking do it eventually.
Yeah.
And that's when we'll broadcast it. So, and then I'll edit it. And it might take me a couple more months or even a year to put it back online.
Yeah. I get you.
Eventually, this will all be online, but it might take a few months.
But my worry is just that, like, I'm gonna be smoking out of this, you know, and then you're gonna be talking. I'm like, oh, I can't. Hold on. That's why I never dab before a show.
Oh, yeah?
It makes my throat, like, I mean, you know, I dab. That's like most of the time is what I'm dabbing. I smoke, you know, pre-rolls or flower out of the bong or whatever occasionally, but most of the time I dab. But
yeah,
for a show, I can't do it because it makes my throat all tight.
Those pot county concentrates, live rosin, those things are the shit. Definitely pick them up. They're at probably 300 some odd dispensaries.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's a bunch of them, and you know, that's the thing about most of our products anyway, if not all. But you know, like the rosins, especially, like me and Provo, we love that stuff. Like,
yeah.
So we were like, let's make the best ones we can make because we want to, you know, it's for us too.
Yeah, exactly. I'm smoking this stuff too. That's how I feel about our edibles. You know, if it's not something I can't taste myself or like myself, I'm not gonna fucking put it out.
Yeah. And you know, like I say, and I'm not just saying this. I've used all of our products. I stand behind all of them, but hash rosin is my favorite. Like, I feel like with hash rosin, you get, you know, more of that flavor. You get the cannabinoids, the entourage effect. Whereas with distillate's like, you know, you're, you know, a lot of THC in it, but it doesn't necessarily have that other stuff. So I don't even know how to explain it other than, like, sometimes with the hash rosin, it kind of takes me back to, like, that feeling I got, like, when I first started smoking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely noticed that. Especially, that's why we make everything with hash. It's just because it gives you that full body, just overall. And man, some of the hash that, you know, we put in these candy bars and stuff.
Yeah.
I'd rather be smoking it than putting it in there. But I use the full melt. I put it all in there. You know, and it turns out some good edibles. But man, I'd much rather be smoking that. Yeah, I love that full spectrum hit.
Yeah.
But I like to eat it too.
I gotta say, because I'm sure you hear this a lot in the edible game, but people are like, "Oh man, I got a high metabolism, so I don't know if it's gonna do anything to me." I feel the same way like every time I eat an edible, so I know what people are saying. And you gave me one. I think it was a chocolate bar.
Oh yeah.
And woo, that one got me, and so I definitely recommend your products to everybody that I talk to about edibles, because a lot of people do, if they get used to taking edibles or whatever, they might not get that same feeling. It might be. I wonder though, is it still providing like the same things that help people when they're taking it medicinally?
So that's why I feel like edibles are the more medicinal way, because it goes through your liver, it goes through your bloodstream, it's processing differently than if you're smoking it. When you smoke it, obviously it goes through your bloodstream and goes to your brain right away. But edibles go through your digestive system. They're more internal. They're more attacking like internal issues.
Uh-huh.
So if you're going to like somebody's gonna fight cancer, they're gonna start with eating RSO, those type of things, right? Well, a lot of people who can't stomach RSO or whatever, they'll put in a capsule, or they'll put on a candy bar or a cracker or something like that. Makes it easier. Well, why not have those same dose of cannabinoids and something that's delicious that doesn't taste like RSO?
Yeah.
That's kind of where those edibles are coming in. It's that full dose hit where you're going to get those medicinal benefits.
Right.
I'm not saying they're going to cure cancer, but I'm saying that you're most likely going to get the more beneficial benefits if you're going to eat your cannabinoids rather than smoke them.
Yeah, for sure. I know. Like I said, I know people that they've done it. They've eaten things, and then they had to kind of gradually move up. So
just like smoking. So what I've noticed is that it's not so much a metabolism thing or it's a feeling. Like, am I used to this now?
Yeah.
Because I'm probably just as high as I was the first time I smoked weed, but I can function a little bit more because I've been here before. I've done this before.
Right.
I know what it's like. It's not like alcohol where I'm losing function.
Right.
I'm aware of this feeling now.
Yeah.
I know what I can do on it. Let's get through this.
Yeah.
So
that's what I tell my grandma all the time, because of course she doesn't smoke. But I don't say of course. I mean, some people have grandmas that smoke, and
sure,
that's cool. But she doesn't. And so we talk about it all the time. I'm like, Grandma, look, listen, like it doesn't affect me the same way that it affects, a 17-year-old who's trying it for the first time or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, 18. Let's just say 18 for law purposes. But
yeah.
We know younger people smoke.
Sure.
but remember the first time I was like, oh man, am I high? Yeah, I'm high. Wait, no, am I high? Yeah, and I was blazed. But like now it's like it's not. It helps me with a lot of things, but I'm not just blown out.
Right. But it's still that same feeling.
Oh yeah.
But it's now you know.
Yeah.
Now you can function through this. You've been here.
Yeah.
So I think it's what it is. So you can start doing more of it and start getting past that feeling and start understanding, okay, if I do this, it'll last a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Now I can push it to this limit, and now I can do this many hits and tolerate this much.
Yeah.
So it's not so much your body getting used to it; it's you getting used to it.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And that's my personal opinion. I don't know if there's any scientific shit to back that up, but.
Well, I think your brain, the way it works, it's pretty interesting. And so, do you ever take tea breaks?
What do you mean?
Like just don't smoke for a couple weeks, or?
So, no. So I've been high every day since 2007.
Yeah.
I have not stopped. We will come to me if I don't have it, just to make sure that I do not miss a day.
Right.
I swear to God, that's how it's always been.
Yeah.
So whatever that is, I've been straight up medicated every day since 4/20/2007. That's the day I got my card in Los Angeles, and because I finished my script. I was on a deadline, and I was like, okay, I didn't smoke for 2 weeks to do that writing. And I was like, okay, I didn't smoke the whole time. I finished the thing. I nailed it. I put it out there. I'm gonna go get my card. It's 4/20. Let's do it. And I went to the doctor. And he goes, so "What's your issues?" I pull out my ID or something. And my inhaler fell out. He goes, "Oh, you have asthma? No problem. That's all we need." And so he wrote me my first prescription for asthma, and I went right to the dispensary. Called the pharmacy on Sunset Boulevard. Every dispensary in Los Angeles had like a buzzing gate, door lock, cameras. It was very, very cold, right? But the pharmacy, they had a curtain, but they had an armed security guard staying outside. But it was just a curtain. You just walk in, and it was very open. There's like hippies. Some of them they definitely needed medical marijuana. They had like crippled people and people with MS and different things that were using medicinal marijuana. So they had medical marijuana, but they also had like mushrooms and not like psychedelic mushrooms, but like different herbal other supplements too besides cannabis.
Right.
And so this place was just so cool. It was my first experience, and they gave me a free thing of fucking weed butter because it was 420. I got hash, and I got it was my first time in there, but I got loaded up because it was 420.
Yeah.
You know? And so it was it. I was back, and I was officially a medical marijuana patient, and I could get whatever I wanted, and that just lit the fire. And when the script stuff wasn't paying, cannabis started paying. And I ended up finding my way into the medical marijuana field from that.
Yeah, it's been interesting to me how many people that like used to be in radio or in bands, because I was in a band for a little while too, and we're all now like in marijuana, like yeah, because it's a steadier gig.
Yeah. So were you in a band too, or?
Yeah, I was in a band called Killer Gandhi.
Okay.
We mostly played around here. Yeah.
What'd you do?
I played bass.
Okay.
Yeah. Provo actually recorded our last CD.
Oh wow.
Or EP, I guess. It was about, I think, 5 or 6 songs on that one. And that one's my favorite because it sounds so good. So, yeah. And then we broke up like a couple years ago. So it's been a few since I've been in a band. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. We played a lot of, I got to play the Diamond Ballroom, which was a big deal for me growing up, going to all those concerts, and then played VZDs, which I thought was cool. VZDs is tiny, but like I have a poster that I got when I worked on the Cat that somebody had got from VZDs, which I hope nobody's watching this and wants to try to claim it.
Nobody's watching this.
I am not giving it back. But it's the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Faith No More, and it's signed by the Chili Peppers. And it's like, man, could you imagine seeing those two bands at VZD? Do you know VZDs?
I don't know VZDs, but
it's over on Western.
Two of my favorite bands.
Oh yeah. And it's just tiny bar. I mean, it's not big. It's got like a little balcony, but yeah. That would have been crazy to see them there.
Yeah, it would be.
So it was.
They're both jumpers and climbers.
Oh yeah.
They'd be all over that fucking place if you're talking the way you're describing it.
Yeah, so we played there with a band called the Heavenly States. They're in Austin now. They originally, I think, were from the Bay Area, and so we played with them. That was pretty cool. And then we played the Blue Note and lots of places. There was a place over on 39th that it was kind of our home for a while. It was called the 66 Roadhouse.
Okay.
And they had us out a bunch of times, and man, that was always a blast. So
wow.
I always say Motley Crue opened up for us, but that's not exactly how it happened.
They just played the late show after they left.
Yeah, but it wasn't even after they left. They messed us up because we were like we were on the second stage.
Uh-huh.
And it was like Motley Crue, Stone Temple Pilots, like all these people. And there were bands before and bands after, and we were the first band to go on after, because we wanted to get all the people as they were coming out.
Yeah.
And so Motley Crue plays their song, and they, the director or whatever, he's like, all right, y'all guys go on, I was like, man, I'm not sure that they're done. Like it doesn't look quite. Yeah, it doesn't look quite like they're done. You could tell all the house lights come on. You know.
Yeah.
That wasn't what happened, and so we go into our song, and then all of a sudden I start hearing the piano part.
Oh shit!
Mama, I'm coming home. And I'm like, fuck, what do we do? And I was like, we're just gonna keep playing. So we played our song, and then stopped, and they finished, their deal, and then we went back on. But But yeah, so I like to tell people Motley Crue opened up.
Well,
for us.
you actually did a co.
yeah. Oh my God! If I was Motley Crue, I'd be like, "What are these
That's crazy.
these people doing?"
That's funny.
Yeah.
I'm sure that being professionals though, they ran into that stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they probably didn't even notice.
My a buddy of mine, Jay Davis, shout out if he's watching, but he runs a show on Wednesday nights at the Laugh Factory, and every Wednesday night, fucking Vince Neil will be there with two girls or more.
Yeah.
But every time I go to one of Jay's shows, I would always see Vince Neil at one of his shows. So it's kind of funny though to see him living his Hollywood life.
Yeah. I got to take some Cat listeners back to meet them when they played the Chesapeake or whatever it's called now.
Oh.
And they were pretty cool. Nikki Sixx was pretty nice. Tommy Lee, he was pretty nice. Vince I didn't even really get to interact with, but like we were all standing there when they were getting their picture, and Mick Mars was standing there, like, and he looked so frail, just and there was this guy that's bigger than me, like he was a big guy, and he was kind of standing in front of him, and so he kept like stepping back, and he was like about to knock Mick Mars like over, and one of their security guards kind of had to say, "Hey guy, move away."
Yeah.
But like watching him backstage, and like I said, because I can't remember what disease he has now, that if it's bone disease or something, but I was like, man, I don't see how he's going to be able to play,
But he did?
But oh man, it was the Carnival of Madness tour, and he was shredding, he
That's
was
crazy.
killing it, yeah.
So it just has that window that he has to just be.
He badass for,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's crazy. The rest of the time, I'm sure.
Yeah, they might put him in a box and
Just
cryogenically freeze him till the next
the
show.
next show, just zap him and get his guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Yeah. Wow. But still doing it. I mean, that's what I worried about, like the Rolling Stones and shit doing this stuff. Like,
Oh my gosh. The
still
Stones. Well, you hear rumors about like crew, like people playing backstage,
Oh yeah.
or off stage or whatever. I don't know. I didn't see it,
I
but
play for the Stones.
yeah. The Stones, man. I love the Stones. I got to see them
Kind of like
once.
David Copperfield does all the magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not really.
Yeah.
It's the
He
guy-
has like a twin brother or something.
Well, it's the guy backstage pulling all the fucking wires and
Oh, yeah. I got to see David Copperfield, like when I was young here at the Civic Center.
I saw him at the Civic Center here. I got the black shirt with his face on it and all that.
Oh,
I saved
nice.
up. I begged my dad to send me to that because my dad's a professional. My dad's a terrible magician in Las Vegas. But I wanted to be a magician at the time, so I tried connecting with him. And he sent me to Copperfield, but my mom made him buy her a ticket too.
Yeah.
So because she was gonna drive me out there, I was like 15 or 16.
Yeah.
And then we went up to. I was living in Weatherford, but yeah, we went up there, and I was on the balcony, and I remember seeing his strings for the ghost that came through the auditorium.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember I was like, okay, I know there's gonna be something because whatever. Ever since then, but I did see him recently in Vegas.
Right.
I was in the front row this time. That's all the seats that were available, but it was me and the wife and the kids. And he fucking did an amazing. So he still opened up like the Premium Motorcycle, and he didn't do the elevator thing, but like he did for that show.
Mm-hmm.
But he did he appeared in the motorcycle like he did on TV. And but this fucking alien thing that he did, he does this puppeteer thing with this alien. It interacts with him and reacts with him, but it's a little fucking but it does so many different tricks throughout the thing, but it looks so realistic and so but just the way they do it, talking about real props and stuff.
Yeah.
This alien is fucking alive.
Yeah.
And it's really crazy the way the show the magic happens around it and with it, and you can tell at some points there's a puppeteer, and other I could tell that there's a puppeteer, and other points there's a robot, and other points it's Copperfield doing it, but the way it all comes together is a fucking amazing show.
Yeah.
And he appears this UFO in the crowd above everybody's head.
Oh man.
It's fucking
That's awesome.
Not to spoil alert, but I mean,
Yeah.
He's the one who sees magic. You fucking know it's coming. You're not gonna see it.
Yeah.
It's still gonna blow you away.
Yeah.
So it's a really good show still.
I didn't know what he was doing, so that's pretty cool.
So he does a show nightly in Vegas, but when he appeared out of the deal, once again being that student of magic, I'm watching everything.
Yeah.
And when he comes out, he's like hitting his hip now. Yeah, he's doing 3 fucking shows a night or 4. It's a crazy number. It's a crazy number of shows. So he does them like 6 or 7 nights a week. I mean, he's working fucking all the time.
Oh yeah.
So I can just tell it's beating him down.
Yeah.
And he kind of walks through it. Like we saw one of the later. It was one of the later shows. He already did a show, and then we saw another one. And he's just like blah blah blah, and he just goes through the motions, and you just tell that it's like a contract on a chain that is just holding him there, and making him fucking perform.
Yeah.
And I mean,
what is he, like 60, 70?
He had black hair.
Yeah.
He's still pretty timeless, but you tell that it's got to be beating on him,
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
And doing these things over and over, but he's like, and here comes this, and blah blah blah. It was just so. Everything, and like even like the way he would just stick out his hand and expect something to be there, and it would be there, and he just didn't give a fuck because that's just what
Yeah.
That's just what he did every fucking show.
Right. Yeah.
It's just gonna happen that way. It's so routine. It's so
Yeah.
perfect. It's so in line that it's just here's the motion of this and here's the motion, and he had no emotion with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just, it was interesting.
Yeah.
Whereas that show when we were kids.
Oh, that was amazing.
I felt that it had great emotion to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was exciting. I can't remember, did he like disappear from the stage and come up to the balcony?
So he does that too. He still does that. He still did his Rose up close magic, because what's happening when he's doing his Rose up close thing is they're setting up for the next thing, whatever. So he still does those kinds of those interactions. He'll be in the crowd and doing those things and pull a girl out from the crowd and do that stuff. But so there's still those classic moments, but then he puts in this new shit that just fucking blew me away. That
Nice.
I just couldn't believe that. Like, wow. Yeah, like I expected to see all old shit.
Yeah.
I expected to see like an old comedian that you would just see on the Vegas Strip just performing it nightly, the same stuff over and over. He had new stuff.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Stuff that you'd never seen on TV. So it'd be really cool if he does another special on TV or something.
Wasn't it Copperfield that did, and I'm sure it was mathematics, but didn't he have like the cards on the TV, and then you'd pick one and it'd be the card, Yeah.
So I think it was one of the first ones, but then so after that, magic just blew up on television.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch all those things, like the World's Greatest Magic?
Yeah, I mean, I tried to watch as much as I could.
So my dad being a Vegas magician, we would go to magic meetings when I visited him when I was like 16, and I got to meet like Jeff McBride and some of these. So I worked backstage with Jeff. I actually got to see like him working on stuff. It was so pretty cool stuff as a kid.
Yeah.
So it definitely got me geared up for Hollywood and that kind of stuff. But
smoke and mirrors.
yeah, but to see the work that he did, like
Yeah.
I was watching him work on this levitating thing, and I'm seeing the whole machinery work. That he's gonna levitate in front of a crowd with this. Are you kidding me? This is gonna be believable with some smoke and darkness. That it's gonna look like he's just floating, really. And I guess so. It was just interesting to me to see him practicing this kind of stuff in the back. But I met like Penn and Teller, and like one of the coolest things I ever did was I bought this thing called a hand dragon from the inventor, Chappie Brazil, who ended up dying in a motorcycle accident. But I bought one. Lance Burton bought one too.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of cool that we both bought a magic trick made by this inventor at this magic meeting. So I just felt like I was in this group of tight knit people. It was an interesting time.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I only know like the basic magic like card tricks, a few that I can show my nephews to impress them, but I've always thought it was really interesting. When I was younger and growing up, it had been something that I thought would be fun to do.
You know Timmy Braun, right?
Yeah.
So me and Timmy, Timmy used to work for me back in like 2004 before I moved out. He worked at my mortgage company, but when I was living in Los Angeles, he was here, and we had a magic trick where he would call me up, and through our conversation, I could tell what card was on the table.
Yeah.
And every once in a while he would call me up and I'd be like, oh yeah, you're looking at the King of Hearts or whatever, Yeah. So he had developed this pretty cool little trick of that he could do from anywhere like that. So he still kept me in it a little bit longer. But
Timmy, one of the card tricks I was telling you about is one he showed me.
Oh really?
Yeah. He used to drum for Provo's band at one time.
Yeah.
And like when Timmy would always use it to get free drinks at the bar.
So when I knew Tim, he was too young to drink at the bar. He was 20 years old when he was working for me, and he played a show in my backyard when it was with Lure.
Nice.
He had his drum set up in a shed, in my shed, and the rest of the band was outside of it. And it was August. It was hot and steamy, but he fucking did it, and it was crazy.
Nice. Lure in the backyard, huh?
Yeah,
That's sweet. That's sweet. They were big for a while.
Yeah.
Like locally, you know.
Yeah, that was around that time.
Yeah.
But I felt like I was a big part of that, but just being a part of their time there. It was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool seeing them. We helped them book a couple of gigs like at it was Cane's and and stuff like that. And, but it was just I was self-employed. I encouraged Ty to be self-employed at that time.
Oh yeah.
It was what we're talking about mentor. And I was one of the ones who actually who thanked me later for if it wasn't for you telling me, I would have done it. Type of person. So back to that, he fucking owes me that.
Nice.
But it was those times. I had the mortgage company and I was learning jiu-jitsu and we were just close and some good times. But yeah, we used to hang out on Wednesday nights and drink a bottle of Crown at his place. So interesting.
Yeah.
Lure. But E-Rock was cool. Ty and E-Rock lived in the same place. They were roommates, and so I'd hang out in Ty's room, Eric's room would be right across. Yeah. And me and Ty would be like sometimes I'd crash over overnight, and E-Rock he'd be smoking weed the first thing in the morning. I don't know if he knows. He has family, but anyways, I thought, man, how does somebody wake up and just start smoking weed? Yeah, that's all I do now. But yeah. But at that time, I was like, man, how can somebody just do that throughout their day? Because they were the first people I ever smoked. I got my first weed from Ty. Right. Yeah, that was the first time I ever smoked weed. Was because of Lure.
Nice. So yeah, like when I was 17, I smoked weed for the first time. And then I smoked it. It was a while, but like I didn't smoke it every day, like I'd smoke it every weekend probably. Yeah. And then when I started hanging out with Provo and them, and especially when we started dabbing, it was like every day. Yeah. Every day since then, but it's helpful to me. Like I on days that I don't smoke, like in the morning, I just have a little more anxiety than usual, Yeah. My grandma and me talk about it all the time because she's dubious about the medicinal values of it, And so we talk about it a lot, and I tell her there's a lot of different things that you can use it for. And if you just want to use it to get high, who cares? That's medicinal too. I mean, whether you're laughing at a good movie, just forgetting the rest of your work day, or relaxing from just mowing the lawn. It's stress off your life, but it's definitely medicinal, way more medicinal. So I've had this box of wine in my fridge, and I don't drink, but when I do drink, I drink in excess. Because I'm like, I don't feel it, and all of a sudden I feel it, and so this box of wine fucking just got me fucking sick. But like I said, I smoke weed every fucking day. Yeah, I cannot drink this bullshit, this alcohol at all. Yeah, but I don't know. It was not a pleasant day. I did not appreciate it at all. Yeah, but it wrote me a good joke though. So for my Kill Tony set, one of the first things I'm going to say is, I age like boxed wine. Yeah, that's it. You age like boxed wine. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah, I used to drink a little more than I don't really drink now at all. Yeah. But when I drank, it'd be like German beer or Hoegaarden,
something like way more fancier than a box of wine.
Yeah. Hey, you know what though? My wife, she is a wine connoisseur, and she loves boxed wine. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. I don't remember what kind it is, but there's a kind that she really likes.
So the mother-in-law, she helped us get this place. So all my furniture and everything is in Arizona for the most part. So she helped us like with couch and dishes and just different things to throw into to make it a house. because this is literally just a place I was going to crash while I was getting things together for the business. So I bought this fridge, and she brought over a bunch of things, and one of them was that box of wine. That was back probably November, so maybe even earlier than that, like August, further back. Yeah, so it's been there for a long time, and then like the other night I was like, fuck it, I'll have a glass. It tastes like Kool-Aid, whatever. So I had another one, and I think around 3 or 4 I was done. It was bad.
Yeah, my wife, she's Irish, so she thinks she can hold her liquor, but she just gets, blasted. So she's kind of started smoking too.
Has that tone it down a little bit?
It's been nice. Like I prefer people who are stoned over people who are drunk. Just personally, I've playing in the bands, played a lot of bars, hung out with a lot of drunk people. It's fine. I'm not dogging them. But I prefer stoned people. And so the only thing I don't like is like now, she's all over my stash.
Yeah. It goes twice as fast now.
Yeah.
I definitely noticed that too. And now my kids, they're 19 and 20, and they're smoking now too. And so, yeah, everybody's fucking buying their own weed finally, thank God. But it was like, we'll have a joint at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Now they're all like, yeah, they're just smoking. So they got their own. It became recreational in Arizona, but my daughter had her card.
Yeah.
My son wasn't old enough to get his, or didn't get his, but well, I don't know. He's checking it out.
Yeah.
His first time though, we were 16. He was 16. I wasn't. We went to. It was his birthday. We went to Universal Studios. And we've done this VIP tour a couple times, but so for his birthday, we did it again. But the VIP tour, if you haven't done it, it's the only way to do Universal Studios. Basically, you start off in a brunch room. They give you a bunch of food and mimosas, and
cool,
just like treat you like royalty. And then like 10 or 12 of you will go with a tour guide, and then they'll take you to the back door of every fucking ride. Tell you about it. You'll walk through the back door. You'll go. It's a special entrance to everything. Has its own different artwork and all different things. You'll never see it going through the line with everybody else who's standing in line for a long fucking time, by the way. And now, so once you go through this VIP tour, they tell you about the rides and whatnot. After it, you can go out. You can go through the back door the whole rest of the night. You just keep on going fucking rides over and over. It's great. So, one of the things was the Harry Potter ride. And so before we went to Universal Studios, we were at the hotel, and I opened up a bag of gummies, and they were about 10 milligrams apiece, and I had 2 of them in my hand. I said, well, since it's your birthday, you want to try an edible. Yeah. And I thought he was going to take one, and I would take the other one. Well, he grabbed them both and ate them both. And I was like, okay. So we ended up going to Universal Studios, and we're doing the tour, and we're going through the back doors, and we end up at the Harry Potter ride. We go through the back door, and it's kind of dark, and it's got its own staircase, and it's got its own artwork and stuff, and it's a pretty interesting thing. But it's like me and the tour guide are up front, and then Michael's behind me, my son, the rest of the group. Well, after we go into the darkest part, like, so we're actually inside of the castle, and we're going past the line of all the people. It's really dark, and it's just me and the tour guide. Yeah. The rest of the group is not behind us. So I go back, and Michael's just standing there, and the rest of the group is behind him. And I'm like, hey, bud, what are you doing? He goes, is this the hospital? I go, no, we're at the Harry Potter ride. He goes, oh, okay. And I start dragging him to it because he has vision problems already. Yeah. And so it was really dark and whatnot. But apparently he thought he blacked out, and we brought him to the hospital. Oh, my God. So I start dragging him through the deal. We start going through the line. And this Harry Potter ride, it has a moving floor, and the cars are constantly moving. Mm-hmm. So you have to get onto a moving platform and then get into a cart that's moving. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh shit, he's fucked. But we get him into the deal, we get him going, and we get locked in, and we're going through it, and it's swinging you all sorts of different directions, and you're hanging like you're strapped in like a roller coaster, but it's a pneumatic, like, robotic arm that makes you feel like you're flying on a broomstick, basically. But you're flying through all these different things, but it's different screens, and they're there's screens that wrap around you, and you go to each different screen, and all this interaction starts happening in the screen. And all of a sudden it goes boom, and it goes gray, and everything shuts off, and we're hanging upside down here and just floating there. And I go, "Are you okay, bud?" Because I can't really see him because we're kind of doing our own little things. And he goes, "Yeah, I'm in more control now than I was earlier." Now you're in more control. Okay.
Yeah.
But we got some butterbeer. He chilled out. We got through it. But that was his first experience. So he kind of backed off of cannabis for a while after that. But now he's 19 and he's starting to back up again. But yeah. It turned him off for a little while. Having that kind of experience.
That's funny. Was it? Did you say it was Hollywood or in Florida?
It was Hollywood, Los Angeles. Yeah.
I've been to. So it's been about 12 years since I went to the one in Hollywood, and I went to the one in Florida when I was a kid. And the one thing that like I don't think they had the Harry Potter ride when I went, but it was like all the same stuff from when I was a kid. It was like the Terminator 2 ride and the Jurassic Park. And I'm like, man, y'all need to update.
Well, they did now. They updated the Jurassic Park ride. That just came back out. So we were one of the last ones to ride it before it closed down. The classic one. So they updated that shit. This Transformers ride is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
They added to it. They did a Fast and Furious thing. It's kind of stupid.
I think they had a Fast and Furious thing when I was there. Yeah.
But I know when I went to Disney World in Florida, and I went to Disneyland first as a kid, and then we ended up going to Disney World, and it was like all the same shit, but it was twice the shit. So like Space Mountain had 2 tracks, and everything was double.
Yeah.
In Florida, where California had limited space, it seemed like.
Yeah, I went to the Disney World. I never have been to Disneyland, but yeah, it was crazy because there's that, and then there's Epcot, and there's
it's tons of space.
And now there's even I think there's a Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
I want to go to that.
Yeah, I think they have that in California now too. But
is that where it is in California?
It might be. It might be in both. I mean, they have the land in Florida, so.
Yeah. I gotta go see that for sure.
Yeah, I would definitely want to check that out because everybody went to it as soon as it opened up on my friends list. They were all posting because I had all these Los Angeles friends. They're all going to Millennium Falcon. They're all doing their.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
This is pretty cool. Did you watch The Mandalorian?
Yeah, I love The Mandalorian. Big fan of that one.
My son was. I didn't get into it too much. I'm having trouble getting past 3. Or not past. Sorry, past 6. But I can't. 4, 5, 6 is where I've been.
Yeah.
I 1, 2, 3 no. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, whatever it is now.
Yeah.
I really haven't been into it. So I watched a couple. The one I saw was when Luke was the old dude and the young chick was, it came to him, the actual one that connected the 2 worlds. But after that, I stopped.
Yeah, the movies from our childhood, I love those.
Yeah.
And then the episodes 1, 2, and 3, like I didn't love those at all.
Yeah, no.
And my kids, like, I remember I was asking them once, do you want to watch Star Wars, whatever?
That's all they knew is 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. And they were like, no, that's not that good of a franchise anyway. And I'm like, man, it sucks because that's y'all's introduction.
Yeah.
My introduction was these others that I still think are great. And the thing I like about, Mandalorian is that it harkens back to the style of the first, the 3 that we grew up with because, it's filmed kind of like a...
They're using real props. They're not in a green screen.
Yeah,
They're doing it right.
And it's like a Western in space, which is what those original movies were.
So, no, I definitely appreciate that part of it.
Yeah.
But it's just, where are we going to go with it?
Yeah.
Because there was a point to 4, 5, 6. There was an arc between the 3 of them. They all connected. They all went together.
Right.
And those other ones, they're kind of trying to do parts of those and.
Oh yeah. Like I say, those last 6 movies are just.
Yeah.
I didn't get with it.
Yeah, but yeah. So that's my thing. So that's why I was turned off by the Mandalorian thing. I didn't watch it on Disney Plus. We watched it on the Fire Stick.
Oh yeah.
With the free movie channels.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I the kids loved it. I couldn't get into it. Much. But yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, I like I said, I really love that one.
Did you buy the Baby Yoda stuff? Because that's what it seemed like to me. It was like a merchandising.
It definitely was. I didn't. Cameo, my Nerds to Men partner, he definitely has some of that stuff.
Yeah.
The action figures and stuff. But yeah, I mean, definitely they were probably like, let's find the cutest thing that we can find.
That's what it seemed like to me. Is that, okay, well, Gremlins was popular. You know, they're like baby features. Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, it's all these little things that they just picked up on. Like, okay, let's put it all together into this one money. Yeah, money making ball of fun.
But as you go, you kind of see like the Baby Yoda character. He's not quite as like innocent and cuddly and loving as you think.
He's a little demon.
I mean, you know, you just have to watch it. Yeah.
I spoiled.
I'm not saying it's too bad.
I don't give a fuck about this. Who cares? They either watched it now or they haven't.
Well, that's true. Yeah, we're waiting on the third season, but yeah, I mean, like I say, he's not horrible, but he's definitely. I mean, he's 500 years old.
Can you put water on him?
Yeah. So, like I say, I think for people my age and your age and The Mandalorian's kind of more what we grew up with, whereas you have the new show is like the Bad Batch is what it's called, and
the Gremlins.
But it's based on the clones and the Clone Wars and all the stuff that I didn't care about anyway.
So they're bringing that shit back into it. So
sort of,
I
it's at the end of that. Yeah,
I could feel it because when that floating carriage came up, I was like, that feels a lot like 1, 2, 3. And I was like, they're gonna fucking use the bounty hunter and bring it into the whole. Yeah, I felt that was the ploy.
Yeah. Like I say, with this one being animated, I'm not into that as much.
But that's because that's what they have to go with that.
Yeah,
they have to pull in the 1, 2, 3 in there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you gotta get the Clone Wars. You gotta get all those little robots. You gotta get. Jar Jar Binks is going to come back. I guarantee he'll be in the new season. Yeah. Because I've been seeing that shit come up. You've noticed that you've been...
Oh, yeah.
Some Jar Jar influence lately.
Yeah, right? Definitely. People have been talking, like, they think that he's going to show up.
They're putting it into the culture already. Yeah. It's been happening.
Yeah.
So...
And then... but yeah, I mean, there's other things like the Obi-Wan show is about to come out, and I'm looking forward to that one a lot. Even though I didn't love those first 3 movies, I really liked... Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan, and I like Darth Maul from that.
I get it, but I would like to see Patrick Stewart play old Obi-Wan.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like the Luke age,
Yeah. Obi-Wan. That'd be interesting, for sure.
Yeah, like the old, where he's like maybe retelling his past, and like you can get the younger ones in there.
Yeah.
But I want to see that old one just fucking telling that story, like right before it gets cut, like, maybe even after Vader.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
that'd be cool.
That would be cool. Yeah. Kind of catch up with him like he's gritty and old.
Yeah, like, fucking Vader didn't do shit.
Yeah.
I wasn't even there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what that whole Luke thing implies. That's what happened to Obi-Wan was at the end of that 7 or whatever, is that Luke wasn't even there the whole fucking time.
Right.
So, Obi-Wan wasn't there with Vader the whole time.
Yeah.
It was the whole thing. It was just a rope. And that's how that tied. That's how I saw it.
Yeah.
Tied back in is,
Yeah. Like I say, the last few, they tried to give a lot of nostalgia, for the people who liked the first ones, but those stories just didn't tie together very good to me. So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I think that they were okay. Like I even read some of the novelization of the last one, and a lot of it made way more sense than the actual movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like the Emperor is a clone. He's not really like they didn't really even explain it when he came back in this last movie, really. But yeah, he's a clone and all this stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, that's
I was wondering
better.
why he was even
yeah. So, and there was a lot of I don't know. I just I think that there was some good directors behind these movies, and they looked good. Just the stories weren't. They just didn't have the heart.
Yeah. What was it, J.J. Abrams or?
Yeah, J.J. Abrams was the first one. Ryan Johnson did the second one. I can't even remember who did the last one. Huh. Ryan Johnson, I would have said based off of the Star Wars movie that I don't like his movies, but then he put out that Knives Out movie. Did you see that?
Yeah, I really like that. I thought that was one of the best movies to come out with a Clue style.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
Script.
Yeah, loved it.
They've done it a couple times.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
A Fish Called Wanda, even those types. Yeah, but they did it right with Knives Out.
They did. It was really good.
And they got a good cast. It was played really well.
Yeah.
It was good. I think it took away from Adam Sandler's Murder Mystery that came out around the same time.
Oh yeah,
that was a good one too.
Was it?
Yeah,
I didn't see that. Adam Sandler's really hit and miss with me because I love all his old movies for sure, and then I want to say that like That's My Boy was like the last one that I thought was hysterical.
Got me cringy. Yeah, I was like, what the? Really? You're gonna go that far with it?
Yeah, they did go that far.
I was like, wow, because that was for Adam Sandler. I was like, wow, that was far. But yeah,
for me, that one was the last one that I was like, I don't know, that one was really good. And then I don't know, some of the later ones, he it seems like he's just kind of recycling some weird voice. But what did he do? The serious movie that was just
Uncut Gems.
Yeah, I love that one. That was a good one.
And I don't think he died. Whatever the ending. If you say it, you said it. If you didn't, you didn't. He got shot in the cheek.
Yeah.
So I don't think he died from that. So
no.
So I'm thinking that he did it.
Right.
So I don't know. That's my thing is that there could be more to that story later.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I love movies like that too,
Yeah.
like with a little bit of an
even if they don't ever do anything with it again, there's always that cliffhanger that
Yeah. Like my favorite one, Inception.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
Nah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's too long. Too much hype about it. So I was like, fuck it.
Oh man. Well, I won't tell you
I don't
the
give a
ending.
fuck. So that's the whole thing. I don't care. It's a dream within a dream, whatever. But you can tell me the endings. If I end up seeing it, I'm not gonna be like, oh man, I don't want to watch it now.
Well, like like you said, dreams within a dream.
Yeah.
They have like these little. They're not. Man, what do they call them? It's not. It's like a token or something, and it's something that they have and they don't like share it with anybody else. But it's something that they know that if they pick it up, it feels right. It's the same way. Whatever. Then they know they're in the real world and not in a dream.
Oh, okay.
And so the main character, his
it's
is
a little Matrix-y.
Yeah, kind of. His is a top.
Right. Okay.
I
know, so from Always Sunny, I've deducted that if it falls, he's in the real world. Yeah.
And so the end is spinning.
Right.
It's spinning, and then it cuts to
Did it fall or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love it.
Well, they ended an Always Sunny episode like that.
Yeah.
So I knew the ending already.
Right.
So because of pop culture, I was able to.
Well, yeah.
To see it anyways.
Yeah. So I like stuff like that. Either where you can interpret it, or it's not just totally.
Did you see the Always Sunny one?
No. Like Always Sunny is one of those shows that I love watching when it's on, but I never go to seek it out for some reason.
I'll fall asleep to it sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll let it play like in the background doing this stuff, especially since they took The Office off of Netflix.
Oh yeah.
Or off streaming anywhere. But Always Sunny, I'll turn on and so anyways. So in this Always Sunny, they make you think they're doing a recap show.
Oh.
And they start talking about past episodes.
Yeah.
But they start making up stuff in their own head that didn't happen.
Right.
And so it becomes an Inception type thing, and they start ending up in other people's heads, and there's two Charlies. There's all sorts of stuff happening.
That's funny.
So yeah, it's a pretty funny episode, but it ends with the top spinning and the cutaway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, and at the end also Charlie comes. So there's two Charlies at the end also. So they don't know. It's obviously not the real world, but
right.
Yeah. So I've deducted that, but I really like Always Sunny. I watch a lot of.
Yeah.
Always Sunny.
It's. I mean, everybody on that show is funny. That I can't remember her name. She was in like a show for a little bit called The Mick, which was really funny on Fox, and then Danny DeVito. He's a national treasure.
Yeah. No, when he came on in season 2, that was the smartest fucking thing ever.
Yeah.
I started watching around season 5. A friend of mine who I stayed with had the DVDs, and he had season 5, and I put that in, and that I was like, holy shit. When Charlie pukes on the chick in the limo, that was it. Pukes on blood, I never, I had me rolling, dude.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's one I'll have to go back and watch from the beginning, because again I catch it all the time and I'm like, oh, this is hilarious,
Yeah, there's I watch it a lot.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of Always Sunny, but I tried watching Letterkenny, and I like parts of it.
Yeah.
But it gets too Canadian.
Yeah. Did you watch this last season?
I might be on it, but
I thought the last season was really good. The season before that I thought was okay. It wasn't great to me, but I love Letterkenny.
well, I catch myself saying, to be fair,
Yeah.
just stupid shit. But yeah, I do catch myself doing stuff from it.
Oh yeah, if you say that up at the office, everyone will say it.
Yeah.
Like there was a time where we were all watching it at the same time.
Yeah, it just got too repetitive, and like
Yeah, it does get a little repetitive.
the word jokes.
Yeah,
Like,
sometimes it hits, and sometimes it's like,
and they don't let it die though.
Yeah, they don't. They
If
don't.
it doesn't hit, they will keep on doing it until it hits again.
Yeah,
Or yeah.
you're right about that. Yeah,
So those little things that just from a writer, like how much script did this take up? But it's great on the actors.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because I believe it's, I can't remember his name now. But the lead guy, I think he writes the show.
Oh, the Wayne guy.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, Jared
Well, he does a lot of the other voices, like
Kesey
you can tell he does
Shorzy, or yeah. But yeah, so he writes it, and I don't know if the other guys help write it or not, but
yeah.
the one guy that talk like everything ends with a S, the bigger guy, I can't remember his name.
Swirly Dan.
Square, yeah. I saw him do some stand-up.
Oh, really? I thought he'd be a stand-up comic.
And I thought, okay, he's probably a lot like the character, and he didn't seem like he's anything like
He's
the
like Bob
character.
Saget. Probably
Something like that, yeah.
talking about fucking 18-year-old bitches and.
Oh my gosh, Bob Saget, man. I remember the first time I saw his stand-up, I was like, it's funny, I just feel bad.
I shouldn't be laughing at this.
Yeah. Like, that's some of the best stuff that I love. I'm like, man, like...
that was like Gilbert Gottfried for me. Like, when I saw my problem child, I want to see a stand-up.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a totally different... that's not the same principle. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, Problem Child, I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Yeah, that was... I haven't seen it in a long time, but these are things that go through my mind.
Yeah. John Ritter, I believe he was in that.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to that redheaded kid.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. I think about the movie, but I never think about that fucking kid.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I just assume that he's like Macaulay Culkin, but he's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Was that the one where they're on the the ride and they all like start barfing?
Yeah.
Oh my
Is that the first one or the second one? That might be the first. Yeah, the first one. Huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah, there were two. Like as a kid, man, I couldn't wait. I loved those movies.
Yeah. No. I saw the second one in theaters because
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely remember that shit.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Problem Child and what was it? But I one of my other little jokes I wrote for my Kill Tony was I've been living like modern day Macaulay Culkin found a blank check. So, box wine and cereal.
Yeah. What didn't Macaulay? Isn't he married to somebody like famous now? Or?
I don't know. Is that
seems like he just
I
got
always get the
married
shit
or
together.
something? Yeah. That's good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he looked kind of weird for a while. Looked like he was cracked out or something.
Well, he had to come to terms with his Me Too demons with all the Hollywood shit, you know.
Oh yeah.
I think Corey Haim or Feldman, Corey Feldman helped with a lot of that shit. With his
yeah, because Macaulay hung out with Mike.
With who?
Michael Jackson, right?
Yeah. And so did Corey.
Yeah.
So they had their times and all that. Yeah.
Well, like a lot of child actors. It's funny because like I noticed the ones that don't have all the problems more than the ones that do now. Like a Michael B. Jordan.
Right.
You see him in all these movies, and he's like a real serious actor, and people take him. But he was a child actor. He was in The Sopranos. He was in The Wire.
Right. Okay.
At a younger age and stuff. So it's interesting to see like some of them that don't have these issues, and then some of them like, did you watch the Punky Brewster one?
No, I saw the previews for that though, and that's interesting because I follow some of like those young Hollywood actors on Facebook, and so it's interesting because I'm friends with like the guy who's like friends with like all those kid actors. He was in a lot of the stuff with them, and he posts these pictures from back in the day, and you see how some of them end up dying young, some of them ended up dying older, and some who became normal or end up being Leonardo DiCaprio. They all have their own different little paths.
Yeah,
and so like Melissa Joan Hart, I follow her on Facebook.
Sure,
she's normal.
Yeah,
she Clarissa explains it all. Spirit of the Teenage Witch.
Yeah,
she does Christmas movies every year. She's still working.
She's in Can't Hardly Wait.
Yeah,
that's a great movie.
She works all the fucking time.
Yeah,
still loves it, still does it. She has her own kids that are not in the show business. They're doing their own things. So some people have the heart for it, and some people get wrapped up in the drama of it. I guess, or the experience of it.
Yeah, because you mentioned Leo. Like he. From growing pains, and then became like a real, but he started even earlier in his movie career, and being taken seriously. What was that? What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
Right. He did a lot of serious movies as a kid, and even as a young adult. Lie to Me with Tom Hanks. Nobody's going to get that kind of opportunity. At that age.
What was the one he did with De Niro when he was younger? Like. Did De Niro play like a stepdad or something?
It was a Bronx Tale. No, it was.
I can't remember now.
Yeah, but it's one of those New York type.
Yeah, that was a good movie too, and
that was a Scorsese flick, right?
Yeah. Which I love Scorsese, man. He's one of my favorites, and I know he's doing that movie up here.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that.
I'm trying to think of the name of it. I've been listening to the book on tape, but it's something like Under the Osage Moon, I think.
Oh, really?
And Leonardo DiCaprio's in it.
Huh.
But it's really interesting. The story, I guess, like a lot of the Osage people, they were forced here from Kansas, and so they got like a reservation up by like Pawhuska and stuff. Well, when oil hit, it hit big on their reservation. So they were selling leases and all that. And so they, like had white servants and stuff. Like,
so they made a lot of money.
They were making lots of money. They were rolling around in, fancy cars and stuff. Whereas everybody else was thinking of Indians like riding horses and chasing bison and buffalo or whatever, which, they still did here in Oklahoma. They still kept to some of their traditions and stuff. But they're highly, advanced, I guess, as far as like society or whatever, because they did have all that money. Well, they started disappearing, and the FBI started looking into it and stuff, and that's about as far as I've got so far. But basically being taken out for their money.
The oil companies were,
somebody high up,
wow.
So. Scorsese's making that movie here, and I'm like, man, I would kill just to go up there and be like an extra for like a second in the movie that Scorsese made, because like I can't say like what was it? Mean Streets isn't like my total favorite, but like most of his movies I absolutely love.
Like Goodfellas, I can't.
Oh my God, I can watch Goodfellas every day if I wanted to. It's so good.
I mean, I find it as motivational as Boiler Room.
Yeah.
I prefer Glengarry Glen Ross.
Oh yeah, always be closing.
I'll watch those types of movies to get motivated for like business and stuff. And Goodfellas is one of those movies that I motivate my business by.
I love Goodfellas. The Irishman that he made not too long ago for Netflix was great. Long, it was long as hell, but I loved it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one, but I'm aware of it. It was pretty good though.
Oh yeah. Even if you watch it in two parts. But another cool thing about that movie is Provo, who we work with. His name is Provenzano, Dustin Provenzano. Well, his family is like kind of famous in the mob, like the Provenzanos.
Oh, really?
And like he's told me a bunch of stories. Like there's this big. And you can ask him about it when you have him on. But like there was a big rebellion or whatever up for the docks in New Orleans that the Provenzanos ended up owning a bunch of them. And but one of the guys, and like Provo's always told me his uncle killed Jimmy Hoffa, and I'm like, haha, that's funny. But in this movie, his uncle is in this movie. He's called Tony Pro.
Oh, wow.
But his name is Tony Provenzano. And I was like, man, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I have a kind of a mafia thing. I like, like all those movies and that whole thing. It's interesting to me.
Now you outed him. You're a rat now. So.
Yeah. Well, I'd be a good fella, I guess. I'm Irish and Native American, so I wouldn't fit the bill for being a made guy.
Well, yeah. Well, brother, man, it's we've talked for an hour and 50 minutes. How long do your podcast go?
It just depends. I try to keep it around an hour, but like as I've been driving around and delivering all over the state to all these dispensaries, I've been listening to a lot more podcasts, and so like I've started appreciating the longer ones.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. I definitely like a good 4 hour long Joe Rogan.
Yeah, because so we kind of stay anywhere between about an hour, give or take.
Yeah, I think this is probably the longest one I've had, but we've had a pretty good conversation. Usually, especially first one back, I haven't had my past ones haven't been intertwining. I guess we have.
Just kind of jumping between stuff. Yeah, well, the one thing I like about podcasts, and the reason I think anybody can kind of do a podcast that really wants to is you get to be more conversational, and so being conversational is way better than trying to force some kind of, I don't know, like sometimes you have to do on the radio, but.
And we're both kind of quiet in the office because we don't really. That's why I save it for this shit. If you're gonna tell me something, I'd rather you tell me.
That's funny because people all the time they're like, "Hey, what'd you think about this movie?" And I'm like, "Wait for the show."
Yeah.
Because one thing I don't like, I don't want to have to say it twice, and I don't want to be repeating something that somebody else told me necessarily.
Yeah, it's like going back to that stand-up thing. I don't want to tell the same joke.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I listened to a guy. He's got a podcast called Tinfoil Hat, and he does stand-up. He's called Sam Tripoli, and he talks about how he doesn't listen to other stand-ups because he just doesn't want to.
Yeah.
And but you said that about being quiet is funny because like all the time people are like, you're so quiet. You're like Silent Bob, because I got the long hair and the beard.
But we talked for an hour 52 minutes with Kevin Smith.
And I'm like, man, it's funny when people find out, what I do or did because I'm like, well, if you...
I talk for a living. I just don't want to talk to you.
Yeah. If you ate burger or if you flip burgers all day at McDonald's, you don't want to come home and eat a burger, right?
Yeah.
So
sometimes I do.
Well, yeah. But, like you got to pay for these, this golden voice.
Even though we don't have sponsors yet. But
yeah.
You just got to watch it online.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it was great. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, so click and like that subscribe button, or click like and that, and hit that subscribe button, right? Is that what, I don't know what the kids say.
Yeah, that's what all the mentors and the motivators and influencers say.
Right on, man. Well, I appreciate you coming out and making the drive and coming up to Edmond and talking to us, man. It's cool.
Yeah, I had fun. Thank you.
Yeah, brother. Come back anytime.
Will do.
Talk to you soon. I hung up like a phone. Talk to you soon.
Oh.
Sweet. We had 4 viewers when I hung up, but we had between 3 and 8 constant.
Yeah.
From this page, I don't know if our individual pages had different ones too.
I see. Yeah.